Hello, Calm Mamas. Happy Mother's Day. Stephanie Dickerson here, and I'm live with you today to talk about cutting through the noise and tuning into that small, quiet voice inside. Yes, that voice of who we really are, of our true selves, of love, of our inner being, of our best selves, of everything that we really want, and learning how to tune into that and to cultivate that connection so that we can hear it through the noise and through the chaos. And here with you today in real life, So I'm actually anticipating that there might be some actual noise to cut through. I've got some tired kiddos worn out from the excitement of their big Mother's Day morning. They're downstairs with their dad, and so we might get some real life examples of of that background noise, of other people's emotions, other people's stuff, all of the things that are coming at us from every direction right now, every direction. So that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. And I'm so excited to do that. I'm so happy and grateful to have this way. Oh, yay, Danielle, you're here in real life with me. Yay. Or as close to it is as we're getting and feeling so good. Happy Mother's Day to you, to be here with you. Where do you live, Danielle? Where are you at? Would love to hear. It's a gorgeous day here. I'm in Alaska, and it feels a lot more like California the past couple of days. It's been amazing. It's like my dream come true. For me, the good life consists of wearing a swimsuit, like all of the time. So we have a wood-fired hot tub. My goal is to keep my core temperature up so that I can wear a swimsuit as much as possible this summer. So that's what we did yesterday, and today my kids helped my mom. They put together a little Mother's Day brunch. Anyway, so I'm getting distracted. But, oh, it's cold and rainy. Yeah, summer's coming though. Summer's coming. Yeah, so I just want to start by talking a little bit about what the problem is, what it's like to be stuck in this place where we are really not being able to hear ourselves think. What it feels like when we're stuck in the noise. It's like our prefrontal cortex, actually, this thinking part of our brain that gives us perspective and where solutions live and where love and appreciation and gratitude, where all of those higher order emotions, where they live, that's offline. And we just feel like everything feels like fingernails on a chalkboard. Everybody gets on our nerves. It can be really hard to like even relax and enjoy a day, like a special day today, like Mother's Day, where you might have had an opportunity to tune into yourself a little bit more than usual, or to take a minute for yourself, or to get waited on and doted on. And it can be hard to relax into that. Even when we have those times for ourselves, it can be hard to hear what it is we want or what it is we need. Right? It's like hard to turn down the volume on all that noise, other people's emotions, the news, the fake news, what's going on with our kids, difficult interactions with our parents, our moms, our own moms might like sort of reverberate in us. We might sort of be playing the list of all of the things that we're failing at, all of the things that we haven't gotten done yet, right? Like this background noise just starts to really take over, and it feels like we're failing on every front. We're not showing up how we want to with our work and connected to feeling good there. It feels like we're not showing up for our kids. It feels like we're not keeping our house like we want to. We're not showing up for ourselves. We know we're not taking care of ourselves like we want to. And there's just a lot of fear in this place, a lot of fear that we're getting things wrong on a fundamental level. that we might be not doing enough for our kids, that we're not like feeding them the way that they need to be fed, or like how we're showing them, you know, the difference between right and wrong, how we, you know, like we're either too easy on them or we're losing our temper too often. And we might really worry on their physical health or their mental, emotional health, or wonder if we're doing enough to support their special needs or their like developmental like differences, right? And I think this is one of the most painful worries that I hear mothers talk about, is just this fear, this worry that somehow that they're not going to give their kids what they need and their kids are going to struggle forever, that they are just going to live life experiencing themselves like not fitting in, like round pegs in square holes. And so when you're in this place of noise, you know, it sounds really awful to say, but if we get really honest, when we're in this place of just being inundated, we might notice that the only time that we really feel good about ourselves, and we feel good about ourselves as parenting, how we're doing, is in comparison to somebody else. Like when this comparison that we feel like we're doing better, right? So when we're sitting in judgment and it's just awful. It's just an awful place to be. It's like, I know that you know that this isn't who you are and it's not who you want to be, but it's hard to connect with your true self. It's like, you don't know where she went. That person that was able to be clearly connected with herself, that knew what she wanted, that was connected to her joy and her passion, the person, you know, your husband fell in love with, the mom that you envisioned yourself to be. And I know it feels like that you would feel better if you just like had more help, or, you know, got a break, or the kids went back to school. But when we really look underneath all of that, we'll notice that this feeling, this being stuck in the noise, was really there 3 months ago. It might not have been quite as loud, but that it is something that we've been dealing with for a while. And we might think, well, if our kids were just easier, or if our husbands were more supportive, or if we could just get more organized, that we would feel better. But the truth is, and this is the part that I just want to say, like, I really, really deliver this with so much love, because this is the empowering truth of it, is that we don't need anything to shift in our outer worlds in order for us to feel better. We don't need anything to shift in our outer worlds for us to step into and find our calm and our confidence and our connection to ourselves. So just taking a deep breath and breathing that in. Yeah, that it's like it's all available to us. And that what we actually need to do is just to learn how to listen, to hear, to listen for that small, still, quiet voice inside us. The voice of our wisdom and our knowing. You know, some people would resonate with the term of the divine mother, that divine mother within us, or of source, or our higher self, or I love this term that the Course of Miracles uses, the God of our own understanding. But this voice of who we really are, of our connection to something larger than ourselves, that part of us that knows that. And when we can hear that voice of our true self through all of the noise of the survival brain, of the shame and blame and criticism that lives there, the comparison and lack and not enoughness, then we wake up. We literally like wake up in deep appreciation of our life. Our gratitude is not something that we're overlaying or that we're practicing because we know we should or we think we should, but it just rises up in us. And so we wake up in appreciation for another day and the strength of our bodies and the breath. And it's easy to smile and to just feel loving when we're connected with that source of love within us, that small, quiet voice of love, that's really what it is. You know, we roll over in the mornings and we just appreciate our partners. We kiss them, we love them. We are able to greet our children with love. You know, we respond from that instead of that from annoyance, right? That feeling that life is just coming at us, that our kids are just another like threat to that, you know, another piece of our noise. Oh, look, I've already used up our time. Really, just getting inspired today and sharing. So thank you for being here with me. Yeah, I'd love to hear what parts you hear. And then I just want to talk about this way that it feels like tell me, what does it feel like to you when you're connected to love? Like what kinds of things do you do with your husband and your kids? What kind of things do you do when you're feeling connected with love? In all of the million annoyances, like, to be real, like, they don't go away. But when we're connected in this way, they're just like, they can flow off of us like water off a duck's back, you know? And you can do what you need to do for you and your work, and know that that is the best thing, that's in the highest good for all. So it's like unplugging this line of guilt, this thread of guilt. It's like untying ourselves from this chain that like literally goes back generations. And we can trust then when we are unplugged from this chain of pain, this line of guilt, of not enoughness, of survival brain, we can trust that all is happening is for the highest good. That life is unfolding just as it should, that all is well, that you are okay. That your children are deeply good, that they are okay. Just as you are, just as they are, you like know that. And there's so much freedom in that, to feel good and free in your own skin, to be able to love yourself and your children and your husband and your life. And the easiest way, I'm going to give you now the easiest way, and y'all, I want to thank you for your comment. I'm going to read that before I finish, but I want to talk to you now about the easiest way. I want to tell you the easiest way to learn how to tune into this small, quiet voice inside, your true self, this source of love within you, is to recognize what that voice would never say. And that voice would never say, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I can't believe you. You need to get it together. This is not okay." That voice never says things like, "You already know all this. It shouldn't be this hard. You know you just need to get grounded or keep your cup full or meditate more. You're never going to figure this out. You will never be happy. You need to try harder. You need to do better." This voice of love would never say that. It would never say, "Maybe I'm harming my child. Maybe something's wrong with my child. Maybe I'm not enough. Maybe things are going wrong." That's the voice of fear. That's the noise. That's the noise. The truth is that many of us are so identified with the noise, with the voice that says those types of things, that we think it's us. We think it's who we really are, but it's not. That voice is our inner critic, our naysayer, our taskmaster, our prison guard, our inner mean girl. That voice is fear. That's the voice that keeps us on high alert, scanning for danger and potential loss, sure that the other shoe is going to drop. That's not us. That's not us. That's not love. That's not the voice of source or the universe or who we really are. And we have to learn how to identify, to call out, to thank, but no thanks. And turn the volume way down on that voice of our inner mean girl, that inner critic, the noise, in order to hear the truer and much more beautiful voice of who we really are. The voice of love says things like, I love you. You're okay. You're enough. You're more than enough. You're doing so much. You're doing enough. She sees the beauty in your children. She doesn't hear their whines. She sees their smiling eyes. She doesn't hear their demands. She hears their lust for life, their enthusiasm. She sees their imperfect, fallible human selves, just as beautiful, just like you are, just like I am. She sees that part of them that's easy to love in their imperfection, just like you. So this process of learning to say thank you, but no thank you to the noise, to that part of ourselves that we're so used to, we're so identified with, it's a process of learning to slow down and create safety for ourselves, of increasing our self-awareness and releasing the blocks and the beliefs that keep that inner mean girl employed. That keep our inner critic, that taskmaster, with a job to do, to root out and rewrite, release those blocks and beliefs. And this process is deeply, deeply personal. But it's not one, even as personal as it is, that I would ever expect anybody to be able to do on their own. We need reflection and guidance and support. And we need, in my opinion, to be free of this. We need to learn how to harness the power of our thought, the power of our intention, the universal laws that Ayurveda teaches us, that a swallow might come right in my window. I don't have the screens up. It surprised me. We will never make these connections rooting around in the problem, trying harder, digging around, finding what's wrong with us, finding to fix it. We have to learn how to put our attention on the love and grow that, how to water that. I found that for myself, I needed a lot of reflection and guidance, a lot of support, and a whole lot of encouragement from some mama who knew exactly where I was and had been there and had found a way to grow that love inside her, to tune in, and so that voice became the predominant voice. And it's so worth it. And it's not as hard as you think. It's really not. It's natural. It might be normal to be tuned into the noise, but this voice of love is natural. It is natural, and it feels oh so good. So I hope this was helpful for you to hear. Remember, the easiest way to learn to tune in to this source of love within you is to get familiar with what that voice isn't, and to start calling that out, start naming it, and start reaching for what you want. Naming that too, giving that voice, giving that form, writing your truest and most beautiful story that you can imagine for your life, for your children, for who you are. I'm going to read your comment now, Danielle, so I can read it in real time. Yeah, so that feeling of having your parenting ruled by anxiety. Yeah, I get that. I so get that. It does not feel good to be in that space, does it? Yeah. So just knowing, I hope this was really helpful today so that you can start to call out. I think I remember a phrase that you said was when you tune in, that like that voice of like, it's so tricky, isn't it? This part of you that says like, you need to keep your cup full. You need to, it's like, that's true. And that's true. And the voice of love would never have the tone of it's not enough. What you're doing isn't enough, you know? So just starting to hear through that for the impulse, because that impulse is there. That impulse is what is driving you forwards. That impulse is what's keeping you engaged here. That's keeping you working on yourself, right? She's getting through. You know, our inner mean girl has our best interests at heart. She does. She wants to keep us safe. And now that she's gotten us here to this place of all of these resources in our adult minds, in our beautiful families, it's time to say thank you. Thank you. And just really know that you're enough. You're enough. Breathe that in. Just into every cell, that enoughness. Yeah. So reaching out if you want more support, if you are ready to dive into more of this, or you want to find out if I can help you on this path. And now, before you close, and let me know too if you saw this on replay, #replay, let me know what lands with you. And just close with just breathing in that enoughness. Imagine that it's coming in every cell of your body. It's coming in through the crown of your head, up from the earth. You're receiving it and you're sending it out. Just enoughness coming from every direction. Breathing in that love. And sending it back out to you, mamas. You have so got this, and however you feel, you are not alone. You are not alone. And I'm sending you so much love. Bye for now.